Did you know roughly 20 U.S. veterans commit suicide every single day? That's according to the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. Would you believe me if I told you that a horse could help heal a troubled veteran in just a one-time encounter? That an experience in a round pen could give a veteran a leg up to help them through some of life's struggles? Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't believe it either. I am a professional horsewoman with 25 years experience, and 15 of those are in the therapeutic riding industry. So I have seen firsthand the miracles that can happen when people spend time with horses. But a one-time encounter, that thought had never even crossed my mind until a conversation I had with a veteran who'd had such an experience. It was about 2 months after the time that I ran into him when he was telling me about his time with a horse a couple of months ahead of time. He said, before, he was really angry all the time, and he and his wife, well, they fought all the time, and he had young children, and they didn't even know him. He said his wife wanted a divorce. He said he had considered ending his life. After his time with the horse, though, he said he felt different. He started to share some of these things with his wife, and that opened these lines of communication, and they were able to work through issues, and they're happily back together. But they're still working through some problems. And his kids, well, they just love to play with him. As he was leaving, he said to me, you know, I guess it just took a horse to show me a different way to be with my family. I didn't know what to say. I was blown away. I knew after their time with the horses that veterans were calmer, more confident, relaxed, and they talked about things like hope and peace. But I hadn't really considered that this might have a deep, lasting impact on their life, or that it might give them this leg up for life's challenges. This connection I talk about is just one part of a 3-day experience, and I'm just one of a team of professionals who works with small groups of veterans who choose to participate that are often referred by other vets who have gone through this process. In our time together, we share meals, we talk about the ways of the horse, and I teach them the silent language of the horse. There are experiential interactions and mock practices that are designed to keep the veteran safe and to help them have a positive impact on the retired racehorse that they work with. After our time together with a horse, we discuss and we debrief sort of what we saw, felt, did, and experienced, both from the side of the horse and the human. Now, bringing together off-the-track veterans and thoroughbreds is pretty amazing. The retired racehorse is also known as an off-the-track thoroughbred, and they have a lot in common with veterans. They both live in highly structured environments, they are good at one thing, and they're highly trained. And when their time is done, they often leave with much of their life in front of them. The retired racehorse can retire as young as 2 years old, with the average age being 6, but a horse's lifespan is 25 to 30 years. And the career soldier, they could retire as young as 37, with their average age being 44, and again, with much of their life left in front of them. The retiring racehorse leaves the track only knowing how to run fast, turn left, and race other horses. There is no clear transition process for the horse to learn another set of skills necessary for them to become another kind of horse, like a trail horse or a competition horse. And from the veterans that I've worked with personally, their transition process isn't very clear either. So in bringing together the off-the-track thoroughbred and the veteran, there is this automatic mutual understanding that happens. And in being together, even for a short period of time, both are better for the experience. Now remember, I am not a doctor or a researcher, but we do have both on our team that are working hard on qualitative and quantitative research to track our results. I am a horse facilitator. I am a witness. And in my work with over 250 vets and 20 off-the-track thoroughbreds, I have seen amazing positive changes in both. It is wonderful to see these hot, edgy, wired horses, if you will, that look over people, turn into these gentle, relaxed, quiet horses that follow people. And our veterans that come through, well, their results are just as varied as the people themselves. There was an 82-year-old Korean War vet. He was a troubled recluse, and he had a massive fear of flying. So just getting from Oregon to South Carolina was a major feat for him. And just arriving at the farm was a huge accomplishment for him in overcoming that fear. And even though he owned horses, stepping into that round pen with this thoroughbred that he didn't know caused his hand to shake when he reached for that lead rope. And I have to tell you, it was wonderful to watch his nervousness melt away as the two communicated without using words. And when that horse began to follow him around that pen and that bond was made, well, that was magical. A few days after the process, he actually called me to tell me about his enjoyable flight home, where he chatted to the girl next to him. In the months since he's been home, he has gotten involved in his community. He's joined his church and his church choir. He goes to his American Legion, and he has this whole host of other social activities that keep him busy. So I talked to him the other day and told him I was giving this speech, and I asked him if there was anything he wanted me to tell you. He said, "Tell him I shave every Wednesday and Sunday, whether I need it or not." And he said, also tell him that from stepping onto that plane to stepping into that round pen, I learned by doing it, I could. From his time with the horse, that veteran found courage. I'll never forget the morning after one of our connections, and this well-dressed woman walked in. She was wearing these nice dress pants, beautiful blouse, full makeup, and her hair was all styled. She looked amazing. I didn't recognize her at first. And then I realized she was actually the girl who had been wearing athletic clothes, no makeup, and her hair pulled back for the entire time. And she looked amazing. So, of course, I turned to her and said, "Hey, you look amazing." And she was like, "Thanks." The battle buddy that referred me said it was transformative for her. So I decided to bring two outfits. One, my athletic wear, and then I decided to bring this outfit in case I felt different. I gotta tell you, I slept great last night, and this feels like the first day of the rest of my life, and I'm happy to be dressed for it. From her time with the horse, this veteran found rejuvenation. And then there was the veteran whose wife packed up his 9 kids and threatened to leave him. He said before the program, he was either angry or he was non-responsive. And as he got in the round pen with that horse, and that horse started to circle and circle, the burdens that he felt were lifted. And he said for a moment he felt peace. And in his time since then, he says it feels like this internal drawbridge for him has dropped. And now he can feel. He shared all this with his family, including a photo of him and his horse. And he says sometimes at home, if he's frustrated, his young 7-year-old son will come up to him and say, "Hey, Dad, you need to go take a look at that picture of you and your horse." From his time with the horse, that veteran found serenity. And finally, there was the veteran with the boots. During our debrief, he was really quiet, but towards the end, he spoke up. He said, "So I was getting ready to come here. I didn't know what to wear for shoes, so I thought I'd wear these," he said, looking down at his combat boots. These boots have never been laced up on U.S. soil. They have only seen conflict and war. It just seemed the right thing to wear. He said, now, after that, these boots have seen something different. These boots have seen hope, and I can retire them in peace. So how can you help a troubled veteran? Now please, don't call up a horse friend and go get a round pen, throw in a horse and hope for the best. That is not how this is done. Instead, I say use LEG UP as an acronym for actions that you could take to help a troubled veteran. L, look up. Many of us walk around life like this. E, engage in eye contact. G, greet with a smile, a nod of the head, or even a hello. U, understand. You don't know where that other person's at in their life. And P, provide presence. Presence is the true present. And a leg up is a gift of connection that you could give a veteran. After all, it's the gift of connection that the horse gives the veteran, and the veteran gives the horse. And it's a gift you could give another when you remember leg up. And that gift of connection, even in a one-time encounter, might just change someone's life. Thank you.